everybody, it's Kelly from LOCH BRIAR Knits, and this is episode 70. Welcome back to all the new and returning viewers, and thanks so much for stopping by again. I just got hair in my face. I'm coming to you from a cloudy, sort of cold Nova Scotia, Canada, and it's February 1st, so we're through January, and now we are in the shortest / longest month of the year, in my opinion. Actually, you know what? I think March lasts longer. March feels like it lasts a lot longer, but I keep thinking, you know what? We're in February already. Like, summer's going to be just around the corner, and when summer's just around the corner, fall isn't far behind. So I feel like I'm wishing my life away. I really shouldn't do that. Today I am drinking a little double bergamot tea from Stash, and I'm drinking it in my Water Dragon Potter mug that I got for Christmas for my husband. I just took it out, poured it out of the kettle, and it's stinking hot. So I've only got a limited amount of time today. The boys are getting their haircuts, and then I'm going to go, John and I are going to go meet my boss, who has Scout, which is our new puppy, her brother. We got them out of the same litter, so we're going to have a little family reunion today. And so let's just dive into all the good stuff. I have had serious CAST-ON-ITIS, and I think I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to just let it take over. But first off, let's get looking at some of the whips that I already had in progress. So for any of you who have watched previous episodes, you know I was, I see, like, I'm using my work phone right now because it's got the better camera, and I'm seeing little messages come up from one of my coworkers, and I'm like, dude, it's Saturday. So this is the first finished one. It's for my brother-in-law. It was part of his Christmas gift in his stocking. And literally this thing is big enough to be a stocking on its own. He has huge feet. So this is knit out of the Briggs and Little in the gray. And then I've just used like the red for the toe and the cuff. These, like, I love the colors. I hate knitting with this yarn. It's a real workhouse yarn. These socks are gonna last them forever, but it feels like it's taking me forever to knit it because I just find it's so stiff that I don't enjoy it. It's kind of hard in the hands when you're knitting it, but this is where I am. Stick my ends down there. I've turned the heel, I've done the gusset, so now it's just literally the foot part. But as you can see, I'm about here. So I still have like all this to do. And I can't knit this fast because, again, it's so stiff. I feel like it's taking me forever. But we're meeting up with my sister and brother-in-law at the Schooner House on next weekend for just for a weekend get-together. And I really want to have it done by that. So this is probably going to get a fair amount of my time this weekend. But, so that's really all there is to it. It's just a vanilla sock. It's like worsted bordering on Aran weight. And I hate knitting with the yarn. By the way, what am I wearing today? I'm all geared up in my knits. I've got my Puntilla sweater on by Hohi Locatelli, which is the first sweater I've ever knit. I love this sweater. To me, it's got like the perfect amount of positive ease that I like. And it's my first sweater, so it's not perfect. And I didn't do the, like, in the pattern, it has sort of like these little sort of cuffs kind of coming out of this cuff. And same along the hem of the bottom. And I didn't do that. I was going to, and then I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. And I love the sweater anyway. Like, I knit it out of Illimani. I think it was their Echo Llama base. So it's super soft. It fits perfect. I love it. And it's not like perfect because it is my first sweater. But I don't care. I wear it all the time. So And I've also got my Hint of Autumn, if I can show you, my Hint of Autumn shawl on by Tammy Gore. So you can kind of see my, there, that gives a good, those are the colors I used. This was a mini skein. I can't remember what it was. This was, you know, it's all on my project page. So, this was Evie Knits. I do remember that. And that was her old gold color, I think, something like that. But anyway, it's all on my project page in Ravelry. And yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. That's the sock I'm knitting. And I did, I'm going to show you a little acquisition here that I got off of Amazon. It's called the Hug Lite. And my husband, when I read, I want like bright lights because it's just easier on my eyeballs. My husband has a reading light and he hates the bright lights on. So I thought, well, I'm going to get this. And I saw something similar on the Grocery Girls. And I thought, I'm going to see if I can find one. So I'm not blinding anybody. It's like super bright. And it's got, I think, 3 levels to it. You just kind of, it's really lightweight. Put it around your neck. It's like bendable, you know. And it's rechargeable. So you just plug it in. You don't have to deal with batteries. But it's really good for knitting. So when I'm doing any knitting in the evenings and stuff, I just put this on, bum, 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 put it in. I can see, like, I don't know if you can see, like, in kind of, it's bright. So it's called the Hug Lite. I will try to remember. But if you literally go on Amazon, and it was, I think, $20, $21 Canadian. But if you, go on Amazon, search Hug Lite, it should come right up. But I will try to remember. No promises, because I find when I'm editing now, I'm like going at warp speed. Because I only have a certain amount of time. The weekends have been so crazy lately. It's been insane. So, because we have Sunday is my normal podcast day. Every second Sunday, but we've had obedience training, and then we've had storms, and then we've got the puppy, which means there's only certain times where she's sleeping through the day. But she's slowly becoming a good dog. Slowly being the operative word. But she is improving. She's 4 months and 1 week now. So the other thing I'm knitting that's in progress is my childhood sweater by Anka Strick, I think is how you say her name. See if I can get that. I can't see what I'm doing here. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm knitting this out of Knit Pick Stroll Tweed in the Lost Lake colorway. So I have made some progress on this, and last episode I said I thought I had made a mistake, and I was kind of avoiding it because I didn't want to have to deal with that. And I did go back to it and realized, no, I hadn't made a mistake. I was just reading where I thought I was reading it on the pattern as being in one place, when in actuality I was in another place. So once I figured that out and counted back and realized what I'd done. So the only thing, I haven't made a whole lot of progress. This is like the back shaping I was doing. So actually, technically it's a turtleneck, so it goes this way. So you can kind of see here, it's a little more bunchy in the back, just for the shaping. The only thing I find that makes this really slow going is that every second row is a shaping row. And for like all of this part, it's like increases, and then it's the German short rows, and it's just, so I always have to like be paying attention or I mess it up. And I just want to like get to the body part where I can just relax and just go. So I kind of, and I love this this yarn. I love Knit Pick Stroll Tweed, and the color for this one is just like, for me, it's just like this perfect green. So I am enjoying the knit. It's just not something I can relax and do. So I'm still in my first ball of yarn too. I've got like, I still have quite a bit left. So I have been kind of slowly working away on that, and I'd like to get some more of that done this weekend. I have these lofty ideas for the weekend, thinking I still have as much time as I used to have, and I don't. And then that's when I separate for the back and front, and then I think it's going to be just smoother sailing from then. So I put some work on that. It's been a kind of, I have like right now by the time I get home from work and I have to take the dog right out for walks. So that's like about 35 minutes-ish. And then by the time we eat supper and then clean up after that, it's about 7:30. So from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I send my husband downstairs to the TV room with the dog, and I get about 20 to 30 minutes if I'm lucky of knitting. So I'm not getting a lot done. And I know it's just temporary, but I really miss it. So I feel like I just want to knit. I just want to knit all the things. So anyway, I think that might have something to do with the cast-on-itis. So I did cast on something else out of some stash yarn I had. I don't even know what the yarn is because I didn't have any label. It was already wound up. But I went through this phase when I first got my ball winder where I just was winding up everything. And for some stupid reason, I didn't think to keep the ball band on a lot of them. And then once I realized my error, now every time I do that, I kind of stick it in the middle. But so I do have, I've got like quite a few balls of yarn that I know what weight they are, but I have no clue where they're from. So anyways, this on Fiber Tales podcast, she did a little tutorial of a simple one skein shawl. And it's literally just garter stitch with just increases on either end, each row. So this is, I think, kind of fulfilling my need of having something where I can just sit and knit and not think. So, which sometimes after work and walking the dog and getting supper ready is just exactly what I needed. So this is sort of between this and the sock for my brother-in-law have sort of been the go-tos. And then on the weekend, I've been working on the sweater. So this is literally just, it's kind of like a smoky plum with some grays in there. Just like straight up garter stitch. So, so it's a nice yarn. It's single ply. I don't know what else to say about it. It's nice. Kind of got a funky color. Not funky, just sort of muted. So it should match most things. And it's just straight up garter stitch. The edging is, she had, in her tutorial, she had a thing where in order to make the edging stretchier, you would do almost like a yarn over a yarn in front and then knit your first stitch. And then when you went back the other way, you didn't pick up that stitch that you sort of did an over thing. I'm like terms. I will try to remember down below, but it's Fiber Tales, her podcast, and it's just like a little, I think it's like a 20-minute tutorial where she takes you through. There's no actual written pattern that I'm aware of. I didn't see any on her Ravelry site, but it's literally just, you know, straight up just knitting and then increases at the end. Yeah, so I didn't do that. I did do it originally and mine looked really sloppy. So I thought, meh, I'm just going to do See if I can get that. Ooh. If you can kind of see. I don't know how well this autofocus is because I haven't had time to play with it, but it's got like you can see like the edging's different than the garter stitch. So, yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I have cast on. But after the last podcast I did, I noticed, I'm trying to think, am I forgetting anything? No. I don't think actually that I did any work on, I don't even know if it's in this one. No, it's not. I didn't do any work on my spice cider socks, which was supposed to be my Christmas Eve cast on, and it ended up being my New Year's cast on because I was too busy over Christmas. Chasing puppies, or a puppy. But after the podcast, I was kind of going through my stash, seeing what was in some of the bags, because I would put yarn away and put the pattern in there for what I had planned to do. But then after it sits there for a while, I was just like, I don't even know what's in here anymore. So I knew that I had this one. I've got one sock done. This is out of my Forest and Sky colorway. So I love how that knits up. So I have one sock done. I have had this sock done for maybe almost 2 years. I think it's been almost 2 years. Anyway, so I really want to get the second sock done. And I usually don't have second sock syndrome. I'm usually pretty good. As soon as I finish one, I just cast the other one on like almost right away. But I think what happened with that one was that it was Christmas time, like the time where I had to start doing my Christmas knitting. So I thought, okay, I'll set that aside and come back to it. And then I just never come back to it. But as I'm going through, I also found, if anybody watched previous episodes, this is my self-striping sock from Evie Knits. I have one done. I have the second one started. I don't even remember. I mean, I sort of, when I pulled it out, I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that. I don't know why I forgot about it. I just went boldly on my way, casting on my spiced cider sock and totally forgetting that I had this. So right now in one of my bags from Gone, I think this one, did I get this one? No, I didn't get, I got this one from the Mariner's Daughter in Lunenburg, which is like about an hour from where I'm at. And then I put my my half-finished socks. So this is going to be, and I'm going to put, I think, my spice cider one in here too. And do that because, and I'm going to go through and just make sure there's not some other sort of lingering sock whips in here that I've just completely spaced on. I don't think there is, but I'm going to check anyway. So yeah, so those I really want to get done. And then I feel like we're really motoring along, but so far my battery light hasn't come on, so that's good. As the cast-on-itis takes hold, I have decided I'm actually going to cast on a second sweater. And it's going to be the Sweater Hug by Skovbær. So I did pick up on Ravelry, and you know what? I'm just going to see if my computer's behind me. So I'm just putting my stash on Ravelry over the Christmas break was probably the best thing I've ever done. Of course I can't read it that are. So I think I am going to use either. See, I don't know if I have enough of this, which is my Illimani Baby Llama. So this has, this has 220 yards, 200 meters per skein. I have 4 skeins. So I think if I do the size that I want, so I'll go 38 or 41, which means I'm going to need, how much yarn? I would need 894 to 968 meters. What did I say this was? So, oh God, I'm going to have to do math. So let's see, meters, 200 meters, and I've only got 8. I've only got 8. So I don't have enough, which is too bad because I think this would be perfect for it. Like it's nice and squishy, which is kind of what she was calling for to use for DK. But I do have the Erica Knight, which is the British blue, and this has 220 yards, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be enough. And this is so soft, and this is what I got for Christmas from my husband, one of the ones he got me. So I think this would be perfect for that. So I'm going to cast it on. It's supposed to be, from everything I've read, kind of a really simple, easy pattern, very enjoyable knit. I've never knit a Skovbær sweater, so this will be my first. I think it's a good place to start. So that's my cast on plans. I know, and yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'm like shooting myself in the foot getting the other one done by starting this one, but I just feel like it, so I usually only have 3 projects on the go at a time, usually like a sock, a shawl, and a sweater. But we're gonna mix it up, I guess. So that's the plan. The other thing I want to do, I think for the little shawl, one skein shawl that I'm doing, I think what I might do is once this one's done, I'm just going to cast on another one and just have, this will just be kind of a quick grab and go and use up some of the one skeins that I have that, and then do them up as gifts, because I think this would be like a great little gift. It's going to be a great stash buster. And it's going to kind of fulfill that. I just need some mindless knitting to do. And it's fingering weight. So God knows I've got a lot of one skeins out of that. By the way, this skein, which I did remember, I pulled up and did remember to pull it out. This one has just been, this is Cosmic Strings. And I think this is the one I got in Scotland when we went to Edinburgh. I'm almost positive it is. So I've been itching to knit this up into socks. So that's gonna, I'm just gonna set that in that sock basket. So I had to get rid of one of my pairs of socks because they had worn through. And I've got another pair that's kind of on the verge because I really have not knitted myself. I've knitted myself one pair of socks in, like, for me. I've knitted more socks, but they were gift knits. I've only knit one pair of socks for me in the past, I think, year, and I only have, and that's these ones here that I'm wearing. So I really need to increase my sock drawer because the ones I have get worn a lot, and I'm clearly hard on socks because I seem to wear through them quite often, and I think that's just because the ones I have, I've got maybe 5 pair. So they're in heavy rotation. And so I need to get going on the socks. So if I finish those 2 that I already have one done of, and I finish my spice cider, and then I can add that, that's 4 more pairs of socks, which are probably going to replace the 2 that are on the way out and the one that died very honorable death. So anyway, so I think, acquisitions. Okay. In my defense, actually I have no defense. I do have a defense. It's a very pretty yarn and very economical. So this year's color seems to be blue for me. So, la, la, la. This is Estelle Yarns Indian DK Heather. I have this in green as well, which is, I think, in one of my bags here. But I absolutely love this color. And I don't know, I think this is the colorway Deep Blue. Now they've got 904, which I think is the Deep Blue one. That's what I logged it in as on my Ravelry page. But I haven't taken the picture yet to go with it. And it's $13 Canadian a skein, which that's basically a sweater's quantity for 50 bucks. And it's beautiful yarn. She said it knits up beautifully. It's so incredibly soft. So I can't wait to knit up with this. So I think I got 4 skeins. Yes, I got 4 skeins, which is gonna be more than enough for a sweater's quantity for me. And the other acquisition I did was I bought my mom some sock blockers. She was asking for some. So I'm gonna drop those off to her today. But I think that, oh yeah, no. I went, and this is Stacy from Stress Knits. I'm just gonna blame her for this. She was talking. She was talking about Barnyard Knits. And I was like, oh yeah, I always wanted to check them out. So I kind of paused the podcast and I went over and I looked, and I was looking through and I was just like, oh my God, the yarn's so beautiful. So I got 2 skeins that are similar enough that if I throw in like a 3rd skein and do some sort of a fade, I think it's going to look really nice. So I got 2 skeins from there. And then I got a set of minis in the rustic colorways from a homespun house. And I also got myself a skein of Collins because she's going to stop dyeing a lot of her colorways and introduce new ones. So I really wanted to get, I don't know if Collins is one of those that she's stopping. But I really wanted, because it was one of my favorite colorways that she does. And I keep saying I'm going to buy it, but usually when I go, it's sold out. So I decided that I would go and just grab a skein and add that to maybe my sock rotation. Or I might make one of those shawls that I'm doing out of it. One of the 1 skein shawls, or like any 1 skein shawl project. Because there's also the old vines from Knox Mountain Knit Co. that takes 1 skein that I would like to do a another version of that. Because when I did the first version, I actually went down in needle size. And I think it was one of the first shawls I did. And I was like, that needle sounds awfully big for fingering weight. So it's actually smaller than what the size should be. So I want to do it using the correct needle size and just see what how it looks. So I might use that for that. So I think that's pretty much everything for knitting and acquisitions and all the good stuff. So I am going to let you guys go. We'll just do a little life stuff. Our office is moving at the end of this month, which is going to be much closer to home. So that's going to work out really well for the puppy, because then I can kind of come home at lunch hour, maybe take her for a quick 20-minute walk and then boot her back. I can also, I don't have to get up at 4:45 in the morning. That's going to be awesome, because the office is literally, if I go when the traffic's low, I can leave the house at about 8:45 and get there for 9 o'clock. So it's like just maybe a 15-minute drive. And I don't have to take the bus anymore. I don't have to take public transit anymore. So that's going to be nice. I don't have to like, you know, make my schedule around like the bus's schedules. I can, you know, get a little more writing time done in the morning. I'm making a little more knitting time. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to being in the Burnside Industrial Park because it ain't pretty. But I mean, really, how much time do I spend outside? I am going to miss my good friend Christine works with my husband, and they are just like right now, they're just like a couple buildings away from me. So I really like getting together with both of them at lunchtime. So I'm not really going to have that opportunity anymore that much, which is unfortunate, but Christine and I will just have to get better at doing stuff on the weekend together or in the evenings. Yes, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to miss being in downtown Halifax because downtown Halifax is very pretty. And my local yarn store is in downtown Halifax. So I will be making some pilgrimages over across the harbor, you know, fairly often, just not every day. So, what else is going on? I'm going to meet up with my boss, who's the owner of Scout's brother, who apparently is like 47 pounds at 4 months. I think that's too much. Like Scout's a perfect weight. She's kind of right in the middle. She's about 30 pounds. She's all leg. So we're getting together. I'm curious to see how hefty this guy is. He's going to be a beast. So we're going to get together and go to the Skovbær Park at 2 o'clock this afternoon, just to give them a little family reunion and have them run around and burn some energy off. And then my husband and I are binge watching Game of Thrones. We started over the Christmas holidays at season 1. So we've been watching like 1 or 2 episodes a night. Mostly through the week we'll watch 1 episode, and then on the weekend we'll get about 2 or 3 in a night. And I'm really enjoying, like I enjoyed watching it the first time, but I'm really enjoying watching it the second time because there's more, like you pick up on little things that you're like, oh, I didn't catch that when I was watching it in season 1, and it shows up again like, you know, 7 years later in, you know, season 6 or whatever. So, and the other thing I did this year, because my reading time last couple of years, I've always been like a voracious reader, but I just haven't been giving myself the time to sit down and read. So I decided this year I want to read at least a book a month, and I've kind of set it up. If you go on my Instagram, which I'll put on my links down below, then I kind of showed a picture of the books that I selected for this year. I've actually added 2 more since then because I got book 2 from my sister on the Bear and the Nightingale series. And then right after that, book 3 came out in softcover, so I grabbed that as well. So I put that on the list. And then I added 1 more, which I'm totally blanking on the name. So anyway, I've added 2 to it. So I've got about 14, 15 books stacked. And you know what? If another really good book comes out, I can substitute. It's not like hard and fast. I was just like, these are the ones. Some of them I've had for a while in my to be read pile. So I pulled out some of the oldies that have been languishing in there that I still want to read. I've put in some new ones that I got for Christmas over the last year or 2. And right now I'm reading The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin, which is good. I'm enjoying it. I think I enjoyed the first part of it. I mean, I'm only about a third of the way through. I enjoyed the first part of it, and now I'm kind of at a point where I'm just like, okay, let's keep going. But I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. Like, I'll finish it for sure, because I do want to see kind of where she takes the story, and I think I'm just anxious to get there a little quicker than what the story is moving. So that is about it. That's all that's going on. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to try to get this edited and uploaded I'll probably get it edited today and uploaded tomorrow, which is Sunday. Oh, for the shop news, I did set up also a, I have like my Instagram, my personal Instagram, which is Kelly L. Boyce. But I also set one up for Loch BRIAR Knits as well. So you can check that out if you like. And that I'm going to kind of use more for like the business end of things, like shop updates, sales, blah, blah, blah. There'll be some personal stuff in there too. But so for shop news, there's still stuff in the shop. But I am looking now, I'm going to start working on some spring colorways, getting some ideas and inspiration for some spring colorways I want to do up. I'm going to try to get some started in February and do at least one update. It's a little difficult with the dog because she has certain nap times and they only last like about 2 hours, and her crate is in the kitchen, or just like on the edge of the kitchen where I do the dyeing, and I don't like the idea of doing the dyeing and having all that stuff out where she's in that area. So I'm going to have to kind of push her back into the dining room and then just try to finagle my way around doing it. And I'll probably only be able to do a little bit at a time. So I am hoping about the 3rd, 4th week in February to do an update, and that will kind of have some of the spring colors that I start doing. It probably have some returning favorites in it. It's all going to depend on how much time I can get in the dye pots between now and then. But I'll keep you up to date on that. There's still some stuff in the shop right now. You can go have a look, and that's going to link down in the doobly-doo there. And that's about it. So I'm going to let you guys go, try to get this edited and up before we have to head out for the family reunion. And until I see you next time, I hope you guys have a great beginning of February. Hopefully I will see you in 2 weeks back on my regular schedule. Fingers crossed. So until then, happy knitting, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.